Nothing there. Nothing to plunder.
One less monster around.
Psst. Hey, you. Come here.
What is it?
On your way to the city, and really busy too. Listen, you look like a smart guy to me. I bet you'll go far in life. You're certainly nobody's fool, I could see that right away. Say, you'd probably like to earn a few gold coins, wouldn't you?
Why not?
You'll have to forgive an ignorant old seaman. I'm a stranger in these parts, and I don't really know all the rules. So I had to find out the hard way that traveling strangers aren't welcome in the harbor city. Now I'm standing here with no idea how I'm supposed to get into the city. I have some extremely important business to conduct, and my client won't tolerate a delay, you see. You'll help me find a way to get past the city guard, won't you?
About the city guards.
Yes, got an idea?
I have a pass for the city.
Oh, I see. I'm supposed to act like I'm a citizen of the town, or what? Take a look at me, boy. Nobody's going to believe that.
What about bribery?
Well, if that worked for me, I'd have tried it already.
They should let you pass if you're wearing these farmers' clothes.
That's just what I need. Man, I knew I could count on you. Nobody will bother me disguised as a local yokel. Excellent. You did really well. Here's your promised reward.
What? 50 measly gold coins? You can't be serious.
Gold isn't everything, my friend. Take them for now. I have the feeling that we'll be seeing one another soon. And who knows, maybe I'll return the favor. Look after yourself.
Halt!
What is it?
You aren't getting in here, my boy.
Why not?
Looking the way you do, you're sure to cause nothing but trouble here, boy. And we got enough rabble in the city. We have no use for people without money.
I need to see the leader of the Paladins. I've got an important message for him.
Oh, and what important message might that be?
I have come to get the Eye of Innos.
What? Never heard of it. What's that supposed to be?
It's an important artifact.
You don't look much like an important messenger. Do you have some kind of identification?
I've got a pass.
Really? And who you kill for that, you cutthroat?
Now, will you let me pass or not?
Well, go on in before I change my mind.
Halt, stranger. I am Lothar, Paladin of the King and humble servant of Innos, your lord. Our commander, Lord Hagen, has entrusted me with the task of explaining to all newcomers the new laws which apply to all inhabitants of the city.
Since people have started simply vanishing all over this town, everyone needs to watch out that they don't suffer the same fate.
Nobody will learn anything from me.
I have an important message for the leader of the Paladins.
The Honorable Lord Hagen is not receiving anyone. Lord Andre, the commander of the city guard, is responsible for all issues pertaining to the common folk.
It was just like you said.
Listen, the city is threatened by dragons.
That can't be true. Another lunatic. We have enough unrest in the city as it is. And without some dimwit scaring people with fairy tales about dragons, I immediately locked up the last person who was here telling dragon tales and sent him to the Valley of Mines with the prison transport. So mind your tongue. We can't use anyone here who spreads panic among the people.
You didn't know that.
Somebody already reported the dragons here?
Yes. The fellow's name was Diego. I think so, in any case. I warned him just like you. But the lunatic just wouldn't stop getting on my nerves.
Where did you pick that up, then? You hardly know who to believe these days.
Where can I find the commander of the city guard?
Lord Andre can be found in the barracks at the other end of the city.
I have come to get the Eye of Innos.
The Sacred Eye of Innos?
Tell me you didn't know that.
How do you know about that? You're not a member of the Order.
A magician told me about it.
I don't know what his motives were when he entrusted one of the secrets of our Order to you. But he certainly didn't mean for you to get your fingers on it.
But
I don't want to hear any more about it. First you start with fairy tales about dragons, and then this. Incredible.
I agree with you completely. Where did you pick
all right, explain the rules of the city to me.
First, the Honorable Paladin Lord Hagen resides in the upper quarter, along with his troops. That is why access to the upper quarter is allowed only to honorable citizens. Second, the town hall in the upper quarter is now the command post of the Paladins. Only the Paladins themselves and members of the Militia have access to it. And third, whoever is accused of a crime must exonerate himself with the commander of the Militia. Any questions?
That's been known a long time.
The townspeople are simply disappearing?
Yes, it seems to be more every day. It's most annoying that the militia have still not been able to discover what's behind these strange occurrences. Small wonder that the town's inhabitants are very wary of strangers right now. So don't provoke them when you're in town, understood?
That's from my opinion. Is it really
How do I become a citizen of the town?
Only those with regular jobs will be considered citizens of the town. But don't think that you'll be admitted to Lord Hagen just because you're a citizen of the town. As a citizen, you have access to the upper quarter, nothing more. Only as a member of the militia will you have access to the town hall.
listen to me. I never knew that.
How do I get to the upper quarter?
Say, are you listening to me at all? You're not a citizen of this
I
town.
really believe that.
You can save yourself the trip. The guards won't let you in. The entire area behind the inner gate is off limits to you.
He doesn't see that. I can't help it.
I knew that would be a problem.
How do I get accepted into the militia?
By express command of Lord Hagen, only citizens of the town will be admitted into the militia.
I see.
If you want to know more, speak to Lord Andre in the barracks.
That was quite obvious.
I agree
What
with
do I
you
have to
completely.
do to get armor like yours?
What? You aren't even a member of the militia. You're not even a citizen.
I'm not telling
How
you
can you
anything,
even
Bill.
think of being allowed to wear the armor of a paladin?
That would be a problem.
Only a few militia soldiers, those who have performed
knew that.
extraordinary deeds, have been granted that honor so far.
Really
If you want to be a
deserve that.
paladin, you have a long road ahead of you,
really
my
true?
boy.
Don't say you didn't know that.
Where can I find work?
You'll have to apply as an apprentice to one of the masters here in the lower part of the city. As soon as a master accepts you, you are a citizen of the town.
I never knew
However, the other masters must agree to it. That's the custom here in Khorinis. If you were thinking about looking for work in the Harbor District, forget it. The scum of the city live there. Don't even go there. You would regret it.
Don't tell me you didn't know that.
Where can I spend the night here?
If you're looking for a place to sleep, go to the hotel directly across from the barracks. The paladins pay for the lodging of all travelers who come to the city. The traveling traders from the marketplace are also lodged there.
I've got to go.
You didn't get that from me.
If I hear one more time that you are telling people here about dragons, you will be in big trouble. Do I make myself clear?
It's a bad business.
I'm in enough trouble as it is.
You hardly know who to believe.
Hello, stranger. You must be hungry and thirsty. Perhaps I can interest you in my wares.
You hardly know who to believe these days.
I was actually on my way to see the paladins.
There's little chance of that. Since the paladins made themselves at home in the upper end of town, hardly anyone gets in there anymore.
It can't go on like this forever.
Can you help me get into the upper quarter?
Me? Nah, I don't have much say here myself. There are a few people in the lower city who have enough influence to get you past the guards. Mateo, my boss, is one of them. Maybe you should talk to him.
That was quite obvious.
Where can I find Mateo?
You're standing right outside his shop. Just go on in. He's practically always there.
Is it really true?
What about the other influential citizens?
The merchants and master craftsmen here on the main street are the most important figures in the city. You should try to get accepted by one of them as an apprentice like me. Since I started working for Mateo, the people in the city treat me with respect.
That was quite obvious.
I need some money, and I'm looking for work.
It's really
I've heard that Bosper has trouble with his suppliers. His shop is right over there. They say he pays pretty well.
Is it really
What do you
true?
have to offer?
At the moment, I don't have much choice. The damned landowner doesn't deliver anymore. And what we get from the small farms isn't enough to meet the demands of the city.
I can't believe that.
Tell me more about the Peasants Revolt.
It's quite simple. Onar, the fat landowner, won't pay any more taxes to the city. Imagine, we're at war with the orcs, and that fat slob wants everything for himself. Normally, the city guard would take firm measures in such cases. But now comes the best part. They say Onar has hired mercenaries to keep the troops from the city off his back. Mercenaries. The whole thing will end in a damn war, as if one war weren't enough.
So worked up.
I don't believe that.
What do you know about Onar's mercenaries?
I heard that most of them are former convicts from the mining colony. And their leader's supposed to have been a big shot with the king, a general or something, whom they put away as a traitor. These are terrible times.
Everybody knows by now.
Show me your wares.
I've heard a thing or two. It was just.
But that's terrible.
Is it really true?
Where did you pick that up then? That was quite obvious.
Really? How interesting.
It can't go on like this forever. I knew that would be a
He
problem.
can't keep anything to himself.
I knew that would be a problem. But he knew that all.
And it's gonna get even worse.
That doesn't surprise
So why won't they listen to me? It was just like you said.
me. He doesn't see that.
You mustn't believe everything you hear. I've heard a thing or
He
two.
can't keep anything to himself.
Nothing surprises me.
He didn't get that from me. I've heard a thing or two.
Really? How interesting.
That doesn't surprise me.
I'm in enough trouble as it is.
Honestly, I witnessed it myself.
I'm in enough trouble as it is. He didn't get that from me.
Someone's gotta do the work.
I'm not touching that.
Go away. Don't do that.
Wouldn't be so sure. Where did you pick that up?
Honestly, I witnessed it myself.
You listen to the wrong people.
What can I do for you?
What do you know about paladins?
Since these bastards have come to the city, I've had nothing but trouble. The last time I was headed for the upper end of town, the guards flat out stopped me and asked me what was my business there.
And?
Of course they let me in. I had my shop in the city when most of those pompous asses were still chasing pigs with wooden swords. And yesterday, the bastards came and confiscated half of my goods.
The paladins seized your goods.
Everything I had stored in the backyard. They simply posted a guard in front of the entrance to the yard. If I'm lucky, they won't take everything. At least they might leave the armor here.
What are you selling?
I can offer you everything you need to survive in the wild. Weapons, torches, provisions, even armor. I still have a special piece in stock. Double hardened armor of snapper leather, still unused. Interested?
Can you help me get into the upper quarter?
What? What are you going to do there?
I've got an important message.
Well, well. Have you tried getting past the guards?
I don't see why I should even try.
You're probably right. I don't know how important your message is, and it's none of my business. But even if you told them that a ship full of orcs just anchored in the harbor, they'd send you away. Because they have their orders.
So can you help me get into the upper quarter?
It seems to be really important to you. The question is, how important is it to you?
What are you getting at?
I can help you. After all, I'm one of the most influential people here. But it'll cost you.
How exactly can you help me?
Quite simple. I'll use my influence to see to it that one of the master craftsmen here takes you on as an apprentice. As such, you'll practically be a citizen of the city and can enter the upper quarter. Besides which, you'll earn something while you're at it.
What are you asking for your help?
100 gold pieces.
You shark.
Take it easy. It isn't your gold I have in mind.
But
In principle, it's my gold. Gritta, the carpenter's niece, hasn't paid what she owes me in ages. But the little brat is constantly running around in new clothes. That means she has the money. I'd like to beat it out of her. But Master Thorben, the carpenter, is also a very influential man. Get me the money and I'll help you.
where can I find this Gritta?
Like I said, she's the carpenter's niece. His house is down the street, the last house on the right before the smithy.
Why don't you take me on as an apprentice?
I would, but the other masters wouldn't agree. I just recently took on another apprentice.
Is there another way to get into the upper quarter?
Perhaps. If I think of anything, I'll let you know.
Show me your wares. Where could I sign on as an apprentice then?
Basically, with any master here on the main street. That would be Harrod the smith, Bospa the bowmaker, Thorben the carpenter, or Constantino the alchemist. One of them is bound to take you on. But it's important that the other masters agree. That's always been the custom here in Khorinis.
That doesn't surprise me.
Welcome to my shop, stranger. I am Bospa. I craft bows and trade in furs. What brings you to Khorinis?
I need to get into the upper quarter.
Where the paladins are? Forget it. You need to be a respected citizen here, or at least hold a decent job. As a stranger, you stand no chance of getting in.
I'm looking for work.
I could use a new apprentice. The last one just gave up his job 2 days ago. Do you know anything about hunting then?
Well,
I could teach you how to skin animals. I'll pay you well for every skin you bring me.
what if I want to sign on with one of the other masters?
Balderdash. Harrod and Matteo already have apprentices. Constantino the alchemist is a loner, and he hasn't taken an apprentice in years. And as for Thorben, everyone knows he's dead broke. He probably couldn't even pay you. I, on the other hand, am in urgent need of an apprentice, and I pay well too. But no matter where you want to sign on, you need the approval of all other masters from the lower part of town.
Will I get your approval to sign up with a different master?
All right, you shall have my approval, but on one condition. Work for me, at least for a short time. That way, you can find out for yourself whether you like my craft or not. And who knows, maybe you'll end up liking it and you'll stay with me. If you're good enough to sign on with me, you're also good enough for all others here.
What do you want me to do for you?
I will teach you how to skin an animal, and you will bring me, let's say, 6 wolf skins. Then I'll know that you have learned your trade. If it doesn't take you forever, and if the skins are in acceptable condition, I will take you on if you like. Or, you can start with one of the other masters, if that's what you really want.
Teach me how to skin animals.
Right. Listen, it's quite easy, really. You take a sharp blade and cut open the animal's belly. Then make a few small incisions on the inside of the legs, and you can peel off the skin. Bring me the wolf skins and we shall see.
Why did your apprentice give up his job?
All he said was that it had become too dangerous out there. If you're really interested, then you can ask him yourself. His name is Bartok. He's probably hanging out near Corrigan's Tavern. Go through the underpass from the smithy, then you're headed straight for it.
I'm not telling you anything new.
Hey, you're new in town, huh?
Yes, and what about you?
I've come from the mainland, and now I'm hanging around here. I'm almost out of gold, so all I can do now is join the militia, I guess. But I don't want to do that. I won't be slaughtered by those orcs on the king's behalf.
Why get so worked up? He doesn't see that. I can't help him.
What can you tell me about the militia?
One of the paladins has taken command. A certain Lord Andre. He's trying to mobilize half the city in case the orcs attack. But you need to be a citizen of the town in order to be admitted. As far as I know, if you're not a citizen, you can train anyway, but you won't be officially admitted.
Nothing surprises me anymore.
What else can you tell me about Lord Andre?
He has taken over the position of judge as well. If you cause any trouble in this town, you're gonna have to answer to him. I was once in a brawl with a citizen. He went crying to Lord Andre and ratted me out. That little matter cost me 50 gold pieces. I was lucky that it happened at night, or others would have witnessed it. The more people complain about you in this town, the higher your penalty will be.
I don't believe this is gonna change.
Who did you fight with?
With a fellow named Valentino. He often hangs out in the tavern near the temple. I'm not usually a violent person, but that guy needed his face rearranged in the worst way.
But he knew that all along.
Has anything exciting happened?
You could say that. They robbed Bosper the bowmaker. What a brazen thing to do, I tell you. The fellow just ambled into the shop in broad daylight and grabbed himself a bow. And Bosper right after him, hollering, "Stop right there, you rogue!" But the thief was too fast.
He knew better.
I knew that would be a problem.
You hardly know who to believe these days.
Ah, fresh face. You're not from Khorinis, are you? This is not a good time for travelers. Bandits everywhere, no work, and now the farmers have risen up too. What winds have blown you here?
So why won't they listen to me?
I've come about Gritta.
My niece? What's your business with her? This isn't about money, is it?
She owes 100 gold pieces to the merchant Matteo.
Tell me this isn't true. Ever since that little piece of work moved in with me, I've had nothing but trouble. She's in debt with practically every single merchant in town. I had to borrow 200 gold pieces from Lamar, the moneylender, just to settle her debts. And now this. Gritta should be in the house. Go ahead, ask her. But I tell you this, she doesn't have a single gold piece.
We shall see.
That's the first I've heard of
What do you want, stranger? If you've come to beg, I must disappoint you. I am a poor widow. My name is Gritta. Ever since my husband died, I have been running the household for my uncle Thorabin.
Matteo sent me. You still owe him some gold.
He wants his money? What for? The goods he delivered were flawed, bad fabric, and bad seams. And did you look at the colors? Those are not the colors I ordered. That's fraud, that is. Let me tell you, back when my husband was alive, he wouldn't have dared to do that. Oh, my poor husband. Such a good man he was. Handsome, hardworking, a gentleman of the old school. We had it all. Wealth, happiness. Sometimes we were even invited to high society events. The festivities, all the beautiful clothes and hairdos, the fine dining and civilized conversations. Everything was better back then. No one would have dared to humiliate the heart of a poor widow with such ridiculous claims. Whatever shall I do? My pension is barely enough to make ends meet, and times are getting even rougher. One sees it everywhere. People must scrimp and save. It's been weeks since the last ship came to town. My husband was the captain of a merchant ship. Actually, he even owned the ship. From his long journeys, he always brought me presents. Exquisite fabrics from the mainland, precious spices from the southern countries.
Cut it out. Where's the gold?
But I don't have the gold. I'm only a poor widow.
Then we'll simply sell a few of your togs. I'm sure you've still got a bunch of stuff in your closet.
How dare you, uncouth lout! All right, here, take the gold.
See, that wasn't so hard.
And now will you please leave my house?
So that he might restore it to the human if the beast should return. And
Here's your 100 gold pieces.
And? Did she cause any problems?
None to speak of.
Good. You've held up your part of the deal.
Help me sign on as an apprentice with one of the masters.
Don't worry. I'll keep my part of the bargain. The other masters will only hear the best about you from me.
Your niece had 100 gold pieces.
What? The brazen little serpent. That was my gold. She took it from my chest. Give it back to me. I have to pay off Lamar first. Mateo can get his money later.
I've already given Mateo his gold.
Damn. Oh well, a debt is a debt. At least you didn't keep the money. I guess I should thank you for that.
I'm looking for work.
Do you know anything about carpentry?
The only thing I can make out of wood is a fire.
And what about locks?
Well...
I'm sorry, but I can't use you if you know nothing about my trade. And I have no money to pay for an apprentice.
So, you know a lot about locks.
What good is a fine chest without a fine lock? I make my own locks. That way, I can at least be sure I haven't built my chest that sturdy for nothing. A poorly made lock is easy to break, and there are plenty of thieves about in Khorinis, especially lately.
Can you teach me how to pick locks?
You have paid Gritta's debt with Mateo. You seem to be a decent fellow. I shall teach you what you want to know. However, I cannot do it for free. I still have a mountain of debts, and I need the money.
How much do you charge?
200 gold pieces.
Maybe later. Have you had an apprentice before?
Yes, and not too long ago.
And what happened?
His name is Elvrich. He's my nephew. I was quite pleased with him, actually, but one day he simply didn't show up for work.
Have you reported that to the militia?
Of course I have. They were supposed to catch him and see to it that the lazy bones does his work, but I already regret that. He can do whatever he wants. Sooner or later he'll realize he'll get nowhere in Khorinis without a decent job.
Is that so? How long has it been since you saw him?
I guess it must be about 2 weeks.
Where is Elvrich now?
How would I know? He kept hanging around that filthy brothel by the harbor. I wouldn't be surprised if he's still warming the bed of some whore down there.
What do you know about the Paladins?
Not much. They arrived by ship 2 weeks ago from the mainland. Since then, they have withdrawn to the upper end of town. Nobody here really knows exactly why they have come. Many are afraid of an attack by the orcs. I suppose, however, that they are here to quell the farmers' rebellion.
Do you know anything about the Peasants Rebellion?
Rumor has it that Onar, the landowner, has hired mercenaries to keep the king's troops from breathing down his neck. He was probably tired of having to throw his harvest along with his livestock at paladins and militia. All we notice of this in town is that the food prices keep rising. Onar's farm lies far to the east of here. We wouldn't know if there's any fighting going on there. And if you want to know more, ask the merchants in the marketplace. They get around the island more than I do.
You mustn't believe everything you hear.
That's an open secret.
Can you teach me how to pick locks?
You have paid Gritta's debt with Mateo. You seem to be However,
how much do you charge?
200.
Maybe later. What if I want to start an apprenticeship with one of the other masters here?
All right, I shall give you my approval. But you had better get yourself the blessing of the gods first. Say, are you a man of faith?
Yes, a most humble servant, Master Thorben.
Then go to Vatras, the priest of Adanos, and have him give you his blessing. He will tell you where you can find a priest of Innos. You should get his blessing, too. Once you have received the blessing of the gods, I shall vote for you.
But so great was the wrath of Beliar that he came across the land and chose the beast. And Beliar spoke to it, and the beast became his subject. And Beliar gave unto it a portion of his divine power, so that it might destroy the land. But Innos beheld what Beliar had done, and he also bestrode the land and chose the human.
Hey!
Adanos be with you.
Who are you?
I am Vatras, a servant of Adanos, the guardian of the divine and earthly equilibrium. What can I do for you?
Tell me about the Ring of Water.
And why would I do that?
Cavalorn sent me to you.
And what did he tell you?
He said you're in dire need of more good people.
Aha. So, you want to join us, son?
Here, I've got a letter for you.
For me? Indeed. This is an important message you're bringing me. I wonder how you got hold of this letter.
I got it from Cavalorn, the hunter.
Cavalorn? Where is he?
He told me to tell you he couldn't make it and is headed for the meeting point. Whatever he meant by that.
I see that you have gained Cavalorn's trust. That speaks in your favor.
Tell me about the Ring of Water.
And why would I do that?
I want to join the Ring of Water.
You do? Well, that means you have already fulfilled the first requirement.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, there must be someone among us who trusts you. Otherwise, you wouldn't even know about it. But I know nothing about you at all.
What do you want to know?
Well, you could tell me where you come from and why you have come to the city.
I carry an important message for the leader of the Paladins.
What is this message?
Terrible things are bound to happen soon.
Terrible things, hmm? How do you know this?
No, I heard rumors somewhere.
Aha! And that is why you have made this journey. Who are you, really?
I'm an adventurer from down south.
Good. Let us summarize. You are an adventurer from down south who heard rumors that terrible things are going to happen. And you have come to report this to the Paladins. I think there's something you're not telling me. If you're worried I might pass on what you tell me, then let me reassure you. I have sworn to keep all secrets I am entrusted with to myself.
And what about all the people here?
They only understand half of what I preach to them, so don't fret. Let's start over at the beginning. What's that message?
A large army is gathering as we talk, led by dragons and determined to conquer the country.
Dragons? You speak of beings which until now have only been mentioned in legends. How do you know this?
Zardos, the magician, told me. He sent me to warn the Paladins.
The necromancer? So he lives and he sent you. Who are you really?
I'm a former convict from the penal colony of Khorinis.
Good. Let us summarize. You are a former prisoner who has been told by Zardas the necromancer that dragons have come to conquer the country. And you have come to report this to the paladins. That all sounds rather fantastic, but I cannot perceive that you are lying to me. Therefore, I must assume that your motives are honorable. I want to give you a chance to join the Ring of Water.
What must I do in order to join the ring?
Know that you take on great responsibility by joining the ring. I do not let just anyone join who comes to us and asks. If you want to join the ring, you will have to prove that you act like one of us.
And that means...
Before we let a young man join our ranks, he must have done a great deed for the ring. Only then can I begin to consider letting you help preserve the balance of forces on this island.
I have vanquished the Sleeper. Isn't that a great enough deed?
My ears hear many a tale these days, including the story about the banning of the beast called the Sleeper. I have not heard that this was achieved by a single man, although your eyes tell me that you are convinced you did this. That confuses me slightly, but I cannot be sure that my senses might not deceive me sometimes.
I have freed many people. The barrier is gone.
Even if you can really claim responsibility for that, the great event in the Valley of Mines has not only set free the water mages and other upright citizens. All the criminals of the entire country are roaming Khorinis these days, harassing the population. The bandits have already taken over large areas of land outside the city. It has become all but impossible to leave the town and return unharmed.
So what would be an appropriate deed that might convince you?
Khorinis is facing a great enigma these days. The number of people missing from the town seems to increase almost daily. If you can explain to me what happened to them, you shall have your place within the Ring of Water. However,
yes?
You should take your message to the paladins first. I consider it a matter of utmost importance. Talk to Lord Hagen.
But Lord Hagen is not going to receive me.
Yes, he will, no doubt about it, provided you become a member of a powerful community first. The ring has far-reaching connections. We shall assist you in conveying your message as soon as possible. You should talk about this to Laris, whom I trust. He will help you.
What community should I join?
There are only 3 communities that have enough influence. These are the City Militia, the Monastery of the Fire Magicians, and the troop of mercenaries on the landowner's farm. The choice is yours, son. Laris can certainly assist you with this difficult decision. Talk to him about it.
I shall do that. I've got this stone tablet. Can you tell me more about it?
Those are artifacts from the old culture, which we have been investigating for some time. There are several kinds of them. Some contain information about the history of the ancient people, and that is the kind I am interested in. Bring me all of those that you can find. I shall give you an appropriate reward.
I'm asking your blessing.
Why should I give you my blessing, stranger?
I want to start an apprenticeship with one of the masters in the lower part of town.
Go with the blessing of Adanos, my son.
Can you heal me?
You do not require healing magic at this time. Wait, if you see Laris, give him this ornament and tell him that it needs to be returned. He'll know what to do with it.
Ah, customer, what can I do for you?
I'm looking for a room.
Ah, you're in the right place then.
One of the paladins told me that I could spend the night here for free.
Yes, yes. Just go up the stairs. We still have 1 or 2 beds free.
Why do the paladins pay for everything?
I don't know what that's all about either. For one thing, I think they want to get all the poor suckers off the streets so they don't make any mischief. And for another, they want to get on the good side of the traveling traders. Now that the farmers are rebelling, we have to rely on the traders for provisions. Besides, I think they want to improve the morale in the city a bit. Lord Andre has even arranged for free beer to be given out at the Gallows Square.
Who's staying here at the moment?
Almost all of them are traveling traders from the market.
Aha!
Don't even think about messing with their stuff. I don't want any trouble here.
Hear ye,